once you realize what have I been doing? Like the last 7 years, what have I been doing? I've been trading my time for money, and I could have earned twice what I earn in a day just by thinking ahead and front loading the work and putting the effort in and building a system.
Today's episode is designed specifically for anyone that is searching tirelessly for that opportunity that can propel them towards their goals and dreams. We're often on that quest, I think, for that one chance, that one leap of faith that we want to take that will push us toward that golden opportunity to transform our lives. And this year, I believe, presents a unique opportunity that we believe is the key to unlocking your potential. We've sifted through trends, we've analysed the market data, and we've zeroed in on what we believe is the single most lucrative opportunity in the current landscape. So stay tuned as we dive deep into this incredible opportunity, which is wide open for anyone who's ready to put in the effort to shape a remarkable future. So, Lewis, what do you think is the best opportunity for people this year?
Yeah, this is an exciting topic to be discussing today. The start of a new year always brings with it a new level of excitement and optimism for us as entrepreneurs. So everybody who's listening to this has the opportunity to make this year truly exceptional. And I know that we can discuss a very lucrative method for people to use to achieve their goals in this episode. In fact, it's the business model that I've used to generate almost £5 million in sales over the last few years. And it's the business model that I know you use, James, along with hundreds of our other Dropship Unlocked members to achieve incredible results. And it's running an e-commerce business. But more specifically than that, it's using the specific model that I've used, which is called the home turf advantage model. Now, I wanted to just quickly explain how this came about for me, because I used to work in a corporate 9-to-5 job. I had the nice securities, the private healthcare, the company car, the gold standard pension. And I used to make anywhere between about £3,500 to £4,500 per month as my salary. And I'd listen to podcasts on my way to work, and I'd watch YouTube videos once I caught the bug for entrepreneurship after I'd read the 4-Hour Workweek book by Tim Ferriss. And I was listening to all these different business models and money-making ideas, and people were talking about affiliate marketing being a great model to get started with, or blogging being your way to success and making your money through Google AdSense. And people also talked about Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, as an e-commerce business model, or retail arbitrage, where you go into stores and check what the price of something is, and then you can list it. And very manual processes, some of these, but none of them stacked up to quite what I wanted. I had some specific criteria in mind for the type of business that I wanted, because I wanted it to be low maintenance eventually. I didn't want to create another job for myself. I wanted what would eventually become a lifestyle business that I could run. But by doing so, I didn't want to sacrifice the profitability. I still wanted it to have very high profit per sale, but I also wanted it to be low admin. I didn't want loads of hassle, loads of emails, stressful, feelings every time I opened up my laptop. And so I just needed it to be highly scalable, but also provide me with a great lifestyle. And so I was looking around, and I thought that this is not going to work with the low-priced items from China model that everybody talks so highly of, where you're told to find these trending widgets like a pair of sunglasses from China, and then you put them up on a Shopify store and then ship them over to your customer and hope that they don't notice it takes for a month to be delivered. And then when it does, it arrives in this crumpled up package and it's really poor quality, and the thing snaps as soon as they use it, and then they end up... I just thought, that's not the kind of business that I want. I'm not going to be proud to stand behind that, am I? So I kind of had to look around and think, well, how can I create a business that's not going to disappoint customers, that isn't going to end up with really long delivery times, that's not going to lead to bad reviews because it's poor quality products? And I thought, well, hang on a sec, this model works in terms of dropshipping, because companies like Wayfair, who do $12 billion per year in sales, they're dropshipping 95% of their products. As in, they don't carry stock for 95% of their products. They come directly from the suppliers or the manufacturers. So I was thinking, okay, well, it definitely works. What about if I sold products at a higher price point? So for example, if I made a sale for a product that was £2,000 at a 30% profit margin, that would net me £600 in profit. So I kind of worked backwards and thought, well, if I'm on 3,500 to 4,500 per month, depending on like the commission for that month, the income that I would need to replace that income, I'd only need to make 7 or 8 sales per month. If I was making £600 profit per sale, 7 or 8 sales, and I'd have replaced my income. So that's like making 1 sale every 4 days. I thought, well, that'd be a pretty boring business. Like, I wouldn't have to do anything for, 4 days, and then, another sale, better deal with it. And I thought, well, I don't know exactly the route yet, and I didn't want to go into it overconfidently. But deep down, I thought, well, I'm sure I can do a lot better than 1 sale every 4 days. And so today, we're going to dive into why we think this is such a great opportunity for you if you're looking to start a new business this year.
And I think it is a huge opportunity this year. It was a massive opportunity when you first came across it. But I think every year it's becoming more and more of an opportunity as the barrier gets lower and as we get more tools to help us to create these businesses. And I had a similar moment to you before I started with my own high-ticket dropshipping business, where you do the numbers. And I think some people listening or watching now will have heard you go through those numbers, and the penny starts to drop when you realize with a high-ticket dropshipping business, the amount of admin is not very high from 4 orders, or an order every 4 days. And suddenly you've got a business that will match and then overcome the initial salary that you've got in a 9-to-5 job. But you also get all of the freedom that comes along with it as well. So hopefully we can dig into how we believe that anyone can also make the most of this opportunity if they're willing to work hard. But let's start with the basics. So high-ticket dropshipping, for people that aren't necessarily familiar with this and aren't aware of this opportunity, what is it and why do you think it's such a big opportunity?
Sure. So let's run through it. So a dropshipping business is an e-commerce business that sells products online and arranges for suppliers to deliver products directly to customers. So you're not holding the stock. You don't even touch the products at any time. So it's a purely online business for you. You just have to have a laptop, or eventually you could run it from your phone, right? So high ticket dropshipping involves selling more expensive items which have a higher profit margin. So remember we talked about the idea of selling the sunglasses, which might give you, a £10 profit per sale or something, versus selling something for 2,000, like a luxury home furniture or a big stand-up electric office desk or a home treadmill, or something like high-end gym equipment, something like that. Those are the types of products that you would see people selling, or a luxury barbecue is the example that we often use. And as we move into this year, e-commerce continues to grow as well. But the way to think about it is high-ticket items aren't just luxury purchases. They're not just kind of one-off luxuries. They're investments for consumers, because often they're passionate about the things that they're buying. And so they'll buy them. And then sometimes there are ways you can cross-sell or upsell other things as well. So you're really building a brand by doing this, and building a customer list as well that you can resell to down the line. Now, this didn't start to really come together for me until I signed my first few suppliers. I'd built my Shopify store, and I was still working my job at the time. So I was doing it kind of evenings and weekends. And I was off work ill for one day, which is quite rare for me. I had a virus or something. So I was like feeling sorry for myself, spent the day in bed, and I'd uploaded products the last few days, but I just wasn't thinking about the new online business at this point. I guess I'd been excited, but when you're ill, your mind's just not on it. And so I was lying in bed, and then suddenly my phone made a sound like a cash register, that ching sound that cash registers do. And I was like, hang on a second. And I looked down and it said £693. And then 10 minutes later, a sale came through for £799. And later on, there was a sale for £1,337. So all these strange amounts. And I was like, hang on a second. From those 3 sales, this is the moment it first came to life for me. I realized I'd made £848 in profit, if you assume a 30% margin, which I don't know exactly the margins back then, but that's probably the average amongst our suppliers, minus the little that I spent on ads. I mean, I'd be left with at least £500 profit, probably more, but say I'd spent a couple of £100 on ads to get those first few sales, £500 in profit. That was more than I had or would have earned in a day had I not been ill and gone to work and sat in traffic for 2 hours and gone into an office and spent the entire day out of my home. And at that moment, I just remember calling my wife and my mum and my dad and trying to explain to them what had just happened. And I don't think they quite really understood. And they're like, but okay, it sounds great. Like, well done. They don't really fully understand that. I'm like, no, this is pivotal, because it's not the £500 profit. It's symbolic of the fact that I'm now never looking back, because I've proven the concept. And I can't describe that feeling. It's an amazing feeling, because once you realize what have I been doing? Like the last 7 years, what have I been doing? I've been trading my time for money, and I could have earned twice what I earn in a day just by thinking ahead and front loading the work and putting the effort in and building a system. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's very simple and straightforward. You still need to put in the work, but that feeling is one that now our Dropship Unlocked members are experiencing every single day. And I love it when they post about it or they tell us about it on the 2 weekly Q&A coaching calls that we have as well. It's that great feeling of saying, like, I'd love to celebrate with you because I just made my first sale.